What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy D Neal and
Mackenzie.
Back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with 19 unwritten rules for living in Australia. Before we dive into this, make sure you subscribe, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
There are some unspoken rules in Australia that go without saying, but the only problem is, if you've not grown up with these rules, they might take a bit of getting used to. So you've either got to learn them very quickly, or you will find yourself in some situations that are a little bit awkward / slightly funny.
More awkward.
More awkward, yeah.
So the first thing is you're going to have to accept people taking the mick out of you, you taking the mick out of them, and just having that bit of banter between you.
Yeah, the Australians love humour, and the chance to have a laugh at other people's expense or even at your own is greatly appreciated here. And do you know what will make you fit in even more? Is if you give it back. So don't just take having the mick taken out of you, take the mick out of others as well. Secondly,
Feel me? I like that. That's where I will fit in as an Aussie 100%. Right?
Yes.
Give it to me, I give it back. We can both laugh, right? Figure once you know how to laugh at yourself, then everything else, you're all Gucci. Can't nobody really hurt your feelings,
Yes.
if you ask me.
the words will get shortened or changed, and that's just part of living in Australia. Your name, the time of day, even what you're eating. For example, hey Benno, I'm off to Macca's and I'm gonna go and ask for extra avo in my sandwich the Savo.
Too easy.
See what we did there? Forever teaching Australian language.
Yeah, nah. Another
I
thing
like it.
is it's all right to call everyone mate. Even if they're not your mate or you don't even know who they are. I often turn up to drop stuff off to people and I call them mate because all it means is you don't really know their name, but you're just going to call them mate. Or another thing is you say old mate.
So we've noticed it in situations that we probably would never have heard of someone being called mate before. For example, we expressed an interest in a house when we first moved to Australia, and we let the real estate agent know. We said we're interested in this house, and he sent an email back and it was like, cheers mate. It just surprised us because it was in a professional setting and we weren't used to that. We've also noticed it used in a stern tone when someone has stepped out of line. So like, mate, that wasn't okay, is something that can be used as well. So you don't need to necessarily call someone your mate because they're your mate. They don't need to be your mate. But anyone who is not Australian, being greeted with how's it going can be a little bit peculiar at first.
How you going?
You knew I was going to say, how you got?
But you don't quite know how to respond to it.
Yeah, for the first couple of years, when people say how's it going, I actually came out with, oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today.
Yeah.
But that's not what they was actually expecting.
For non-Australians, it does feel kind of awkward to begin with because you just don't know. But it seems to be more of a rhetorical question. Probably at most you would say something like, yeah, good, thanks. But other than that, you don't really tend to actually respond. They don't want a detailed response. It's a greeting, only a greeting.
We've also noticed when people are unhappy about how someone's acted or they're feeling a bit disgusted on how they've done something, they often say it's very un-Australian.
Being un-Australian seems to be a real insult. So if someone has done something that's not really the right thing by another person, they could refer to them as, that was really un-Australian behaviour. And that's pretty much the biggest insult that we've heard since we've been here. To be called that is, you know, quite disgraceful. So it seems to be used in circumstances.
I'm going to start using that on you. Anytime you get upset or anything, I'm going to be like, Kenzie, that's un-Australian.
That doesn't hurt my feelings.
Be like, you know what I mean.
I'll say that to you because that would hurt your feelings.
These feelings don't know how to be hurt. These feelings are locked up inside of a icy cold heart. You feel me? They don't get hurt.
Because he's lying.
I done heard it all. I done heard the worst of the worst insults.
Like what?
I done heard the racial slurs. I done heard the looking like monkeys and
Vague.
I done heard it all. You feel me? Can't be hurt. You feel? Hey,
Who said these things?
Dad taught me at a
beat
young
him up.
age. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
I'll beat him up.
Is when someone has done the wrong thing by others.
I've never been called un-Australian.
I haven't been called un-Australian either. I think you have to be really scummy to be called un-Australian. And also, furthermore to that, doing the right thing is considered to be a very good quality here. And it's kind of an expectation that you do the right thing by other people.
You've got to be very fair dinkum.
And doing the right thing actually includes things like paying people fairly and not trying to underpay someone. So if you wanted a job doing at your house, you're expected to pay someone a reasonable amount of money, a fair pay. And if you try and underpay people, we've seen it a number of times on the community pages, people will call you out and people will call you a grub for trying to underpay. It's considered very poor form and a very low act. Being called a grub would be very insulting as well as being called un-Australian. It's not okay to try and underpay people here.
So while paying people a fair wage is expected, tipping isn't.
Tipping is not part of Australian culture.
I absolutely love that so gosh dang much. I'll be telling Kenzie, the reason I don't like eating out is because then I gotta tip the waiter or the waitress.
Yes, like the other day we were trying to figure out if we wanted to go out to eat or if we just wanted to grab something real quick.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to go out to eat because if we go out to eat, then I have to tip somebody. And I don't want to go tip somebody.
It's like...
And I'm just looking at him like, come, bro.
You can buy a whole nother meal with a tip, bro. Like, I'll be like, let's just grab some, come back to the crib. I ain't got to tip nobody. It's cheaper that way. You feel me? But here in America, instead of people looking down at the companies for not paying their people fairly, if you go out to eat and don't tip, they look down on you. And so it's like, yeah, I just don't like tipping, bro.
He's terrible.
They gonna agree with me. I know y'all gonna agree with me in the comment sections, right, my Aussies?
Yes, because that's what they do. But the difference is they get paid more.
Yeah, so the company need to be paying, and the money
They
don't need to
should,
be
but
coming
they
from my
don't.
pockets.
And so therefore, I can't do that. I can't.
That's
not
why I'm
tip.
saying. That's why whenever I wanted out to eat, when I lived back in Texas and I wanted food out to eat, call it in. I'll come through and pick it up in 10 minutes. Come pick it up, take it back home and eat it. That way, I still get my out to eat food, but ain't nobody getting tipped.
He low down dirty.
Treating everybody equally is part of Australian culture, and it does not matter what your background is, you will have the same opportunities and also be spoken to in exactly the same way as anybody else. The Australians don't care whether you've come from wealth, they don't care whether you've got a nice house, they don't care about any of these things. You're treated exactly the same wherever you come from, whatever you have, as it should be.
But a major thing we notice here in Australia, Australians and the people that should come and visit care massively about the environment and the surroundings around them.
It's such a beautiful country and the Australians really do take a pride in it. And that is an expectation that anybody who is here takes part in that pride and really looks after everything and keeps it clean, keeps it tidy. It is also very noticeable that the Australians care deeply for the wildlife here, and it is an expectation that everybody respects it, and even little things like if you see a dead kangaroo on the side of the road, you're supposed to go and check its pouch to make sure there's not a joey in there. If there's a joey, obviously you would take it to a wildlife rescue. If it has like a painted cross on it, then it means someone's already checked the pouch. But there's there's a higher level of care that we have noticed for the Australian wildlife.
We've noticed that Australians do actually stick to the road rules here. They either go to the speed limit or they stay under. I know a lot of you Aussies will think, well, this is an obvious thing.
I know it sounds really obvious to probably anyone from Australia, but elsewhere in the world it's not quite so strict and people don't really seem to adhere to the rules quite so much. It can be something that's quite surprising to people who are not from Australia.
Bro, speed limits are suggestions.
That's really how he looks at it. Me and him, like, we be arguing in the car because he wants to fly, and I'm like, bro, there's cops.
And I'm like, I'm good. I'm Gooch. They not gonna pull me over.
So I'm watching the GPS constantly, making sure that no cops have been reported. And then I see when I'm like, Darren, you need to slow down. And he's like, I'm a thug, Kenzie. They ain't gonna get me.
If it's a long drive, bro, I gotta go. I can't go the speed limit, bro. Like, I can't do it.
Bro.
Like, Tennessee to Texas or Georgia to Texas, I'm speeding. Most of the way, I will be speeding.
And that's why you got tickets.
That's okay. You know what I'm saying? They only caught me, what, like 2-3 times out of about 10 to 20. Those are those are odds I like. And
It always scares me.
each time I learned. You feel me? I learned how to look out for him better.
Yeah, okay. No, he don't.
Nah,
He's
bro.
speeding. And especially because, like, now he's moved down here to where I live, and so I'm so used to, like, where cops hide out and, like, where they mostly get people, and then what's the stricter parts where you can't do anything. And I be trying to tell him, like, oh, we're in a part where the cops are really mean, like, they'll pull you over for anything, and he just still wants to fly.
Nah, I don't go to past the speed limit too much over here. I feel like in the city, I don't go past the speed limit too much.
Too much.
Because I understand that I still ain't got Georgia insurance.
I be trying to tell him.
Know what I'm saying? So I give the cops no reason to pull me over. If you pull me over, you ain't got no reason.
They gonna have a reason once they see you have a Georgia license and a Texas plate.
Well, they ain't gonna see that unless they pull me over.
Unless somebody's a cop and watching this video.
They're not watching this video.
You said, dang, I shouldn't have said that.
Nah, they're not watching it. They know Georgia cops watching a video about us reacting to Australia.
You don't know.
That ain't happening. That ain't happening. And I've learned also where the cops are hiding. And where I need to go, I learned where the cops be hiding out at. Know what I'm saying? I found out their spots. I'll be peeking them.
I be peeking them.
You know what I'm saying? Or peeping. That's what I meant to say. I be peeping them. Oh, you right there today? Oh, you over there today? Okay. I got you.
Australia. There are hefty fines for people who don't abide by the rules. Which brings us on to our next point, which is a little bit controversial because it's not legal. But we're going to mention it anyway because it's something that we've noticed. Flashing your lights here in Australia. We've noticed it used mostly when people are alerting others that the police are around. So it's usually if there's a speed camera, and obviously people can use it for hazards as well, but we've never actually seen it used for that. We've only ever seen it used here for alerting someone that there's a speed camera nearby.
We used to flash our lights to say thank you, or flash someone to say go on, you can go round.
That's not the done thing.
Yeah, that's definitely not something that they do here. Definitely not in Queensland. I don't know if the other states are the same, but yeah, flashing your lights is mainly to say check your speed, there's a cop around the corner.
But we will just...
We also do that around here. It's also not legal.
Yes.
But we do that as well as if we're trying to let somebody go.
Yeah.
We will flash our lights too.
Yeah.
But if a cop catches you,
Oof.
you're in trouble.
But shout out to all the people who be looking out with them flashing lights, man. Y'all are heroes.
I don't think you get in trouble if you like flash them to let somebody go, like tell them like come on, go ahead.
Nah.
But if they're sitting around and trying to catch people and then they see you flash your lights, yeah, big time.
cops, they like some pirates, bro. Just waiting for you to have.
But I feel like nowadays, like, where cops have, like, hidden vehicles, not like hidden, but like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like, they have different vehicles that you wouldn't normally suspect a cop to be in.
Facts.
And so, like, at this point in the day, I do not flash people no more.
I don't either.
Like, I used to, like, do it, but now I just don't, because their cars are so in disguise these days. It's like a mom van could be a cop, bro.
Yeah.
You ain't getting me.
Yeah, I never flashed anybody to begin with, but
I did, especially because there's like, I be feeling bad, and when I see somebody flying, I'm like, hey, bro, watch out.
I swear, I just be laughing when I see these cops, boy. They be trying to pick the best hiding spots too, boy.
Yes.
And I just be laughing when I see. I'm like, he gonna get somebody, cause I ain't seen him over there for a minute.
Yes. Now see, like, this is where they're tricky at, because if anybody, which this is Australian, so nobody really gonna know what I'm talking about. But if you go to Cleveland, Tennessee, there's like these bushes along the highway right in the middle. Like, so if you're going here, the bushes over here, and then so you can't see the other side, but there's bushes, and then like every so much distance, there's like a little area where a cop will hide behind the bush with his little radar, and every time I'm looking, like, I'll forget, and I'm like, oh wait, because there's always a couple of them, not just one. They're like lined up on the street with the bushes in the bush, and you can't even see nothing. Even at nighttime, they got their lights off, and they're like backed into it with their little radar.
They dirty.
Yes. Oh, they real dirty over there.
Well, I like doing on the interstate. I like it when I see another car going super fast, and I'm like, well, I'll just go fast behind that car, because if anybody get pulled over, it gotta be them, because they going faster than me. I may be over the speed limit, but they going a whole different, you know what I'm saying? They in a whole different level.
See, I don't think of it like that. The way I think of it is like, I'm closest. I'm the closest. I'm getting pulled over.
Nah, you pull me over, I'll be like, you don't see that man going 20 miles faster than I am.
And then you're arguing with the cop, and then you get arrested.
You feel me? I'll be like, this is craziness. Throwing the whole scene. I wouldn't argue with the cop. I don't do that, but I feel it on the inside. God dang it.
Just that you know that you can get fined for this. It is illegal to do it, and I would imagine the fines are quite hefty for that. So yeah, it's not something you should do, but it's something that we have noticed that people do.
Yeah, you know who you are, you flashers.
So this next one is for people who are not from Australia, but in Australia, or who have come into Australia.
Visiting.
Yeah, or living here. It's not the done thing to complain. Australians are very proud of their country, and it is not okay with them for you to complain about things here.
So when you're socialising and you're going to visit people, it's very much the done thing here to bring something with you. Either you decide you're going to bring the cake, like a dessert or something like that, or you're going to bring something for the barbecue, and definitely bring some grog with you, meaning bring some drink.
This seems to be one that catches people out, and it's a little bit funny. I didn't realise that this was not obvious to people, but when someone says bring a plate, it doesn't mean that they don't have enough plates for their guests. It means that people have said that. Something. It means that you bring a plate with food on it to share.
And it's sort of like an unspoken.
I feel like that's what I always bring a plate. That's what I would always assume that it meant.
Yeah. Well,
like, bring food, like.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, like she said, I mean, there is people, but I feel like they use plates. You know, like if they want you to bring actual plates, and they'll be like, bring plates, not bring a plate.
Yeah. I should have, if I know that guests are coming over though, like I'm gonna make sure I have plates, like probably paper plates.
Yeah.
For everybody to be able to eat off of.
Well, see, like with my mom, like sometimes like she'll get everything and she'll just be like, hey, can y'all like bring some plates or just bring some cups?
Yeah.
And then that'd be the only thing we bring.
I can understand.
But also, if my mom said bring a plate, I would not think that she meant bring food. I would think that she meant bring like leftover plates.
Oh, I don't
Because
know.
she's always saying that to us, is she not?
Yeah.
So that's what I would think.
Yeah, bring a plate to me,
Because
bring food.
my mom would just be like, "Hey, what kind of food are you bringing, or what kind of dessert are you bringing?" She wouldn't
I
just
can
be like, "Bring a
understand that.
plate."
I can understand that.
Like for Christmas, my mom was like, "What kind of food are you making?"
I feel you on that.
The thing that you're gonna bring some booze.
Yeah, you have got to bring stuff with you if you go to someone's house or to any kind of gathering. It's expected that you bring something with you.
And even if they say don't bring anything, just
You
bring
should.
it. And also, if you're bringing the booze, make sure it's cold because Australians do not like anything warm.
A cold one is essential, and a cold one refers to a beer. It has got to be cold, cold. Not just cold, but cold. This next one goes without saying. You must check your shoes if you leave them outside before you put them on again. We don't tend to leave shoes outside, but if you were to, you probably should check them before you put them on your feet, just in case there's something inside.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing I leave outside, like footwear-wise, is my thongs.
The next one that we were a little surprised by, but it makes perfect sense, is that cats are expected to be kept inside here. They're not expected to go roaming around neighbourhoods. It's not appreciated here at all. So if you have a cat, you're expected to keep it on your own property.
I feel like that makes sense though.
Yeah.
Because cats are not like outdoor animals.
Yeah. And I got a lot of like feral cats, like wild cats out there.
Yeah.
It's a problem out there in Australia for them.
Well, it's a problem for me because our neighbor out there, come on, they have a cat that comes and claws at our door every day, and he messed up my garden in the front. I ain't caught him yet.
We don't be doing nothing with that garden.
No, but it's the point. It was a brand new garden.
It was. I
It
agree
was
with
brand
that.
new, and out of all three of us over here,
They dug up all, so.
yes, it dug up ours, like, and it's the neighbors right in front of us, and the cat I don't know, did you even think that that's what it was?
I didn't think, nah.
We didn't know what it was, but we noticed like something had been digging,
Yeah.
and then one day, I was home alone, and I heard scratching outside, and it was at the door. And I opened it up, and the gray cat went like flying back to the neighbor's house and went underneath its gate and went back in. I was like, "Oh, you dirty!
That's how they do, man.
Oh, you dirty!" And it keeps coming back.
Yeah. Keep them cats inside, man. Don't let them outside.
Yes. Why is your cat outside?
You feel me? Alright, with her.
Seems to be because people don't want the cats attacking wildlife. So that's why it's very frowned upon to let a cat just go roaming around here.
And also, make sure you do not park out in the sun. Make sure you park in the shade.
It's not a case of wanting to park the closest to the shops here. You want to park wherever the shade is, because in the summer you don't want your car sat in the sun, because it pretty much becomes an oven. As we've mentioned in other videos, trying to touch the steering wheel or do your seatbelt up if your car has been sat in the sun, it burns.
So just before we go, we would love to announce the winner of last week's competition, and that is...
We're going to go ahead and end it on that. But yeah, I definitely feel the sun thing. Yeah, it do burn when it's hot and your car been out there in the sun. It is an oven.
Yes.
Touching the seatbelt, touching the steering wheel, touching anything.
It burns.
Burns so badly.
You have to like let the car cool off
Yeah.
before you get in.
Facts.
You can't touch nothing.
At all.
But that's why we have those things that go in your windshield.
Yeah.
And it blocks the sun from getting in your car.
I always be like, man, I need one of those, and I never get one. But I should.
Yeah, we definitely should.
That's all we got. Make sure y'all subscribe, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up. We out.